The copper wire winds around my fingers like an old friend as I secure the final connection in the breaker panel. Christmas music drifts from the small radio perched on my toolbox, Nat King Cole crooning about chestnuts and open fires. My hands, weathered from a decade of handling tools and climbing ladders, move with practiced precision, despite the early December chill, seeping through the unfinished walls. I stand back, examining my work. The panel looks perfect, each wire neatly labeled, every connection tight. This townhouse renovation will pass inspection with flying colors. My phone buzzes in my back pocket. Mom's name flashes across the screen. A familiar mix of hope and wariness tightens my chest. "Hi, Mom." "Maya, dear." Her voice carries that particular lilt she reserves for difficult conversations. "Do you have a minute to talk about Christmas dinner?" I wipe my hands on my work pants, leaving faint smudges of copper. "Sure. What's the plan this year?" A pause stretches between us, too long to be comfortable. My stomach knots. "Well," Mom says, finally clearing her throat, "that's why I'm calling. We're doing something different this year. Miles's parents are visiting, and we want to keep it more formal." The word formal hangs in the air between us. I've heard this tone before, the same one she used when I announced I was enrolling in trade school instead of the business program at CU Boulder. "Formal," I repeat, my voice flat. "You mean I shouldn't come?" "Oh, honey, it's not that we don't want to see you." Her voice tightens with practiced sympathy. "It's just Miles' parents are very traditional. They're both professors at Yale, and Talia wants to make a good impression. You understand." I close my eyes. The meaning couldn't be clearer. My work boots and calloused hands don't fit their image of success. For a moment, I'm 12 again, sitting at that polished mahogany Christmas table. Dad beaming as I explain how I fixed the wiring in the ancient train set he'd pulled from the attic. "That's my girl," he'd said then, ruffling my hair. Smart as a whip. That pride faded the day I chose trade school, the day Talia became the family's academic hope. "I understand," I say, my voice betraying nothing of the fire building behind my ribs. "I knew you would." Relief floods her tone. "We'll do something after the holidays, just us. Maybe lunch. Maybe." I snap the breaker panel shut with more force than necessary. "I should go. I have a client waiting." "Of course. Love you, dear." The call ends. I stare at the phone, wondering if she even notices how quick our conversations have become. 2 hours later, I lock the doors to Thompson Electrical. The sun has already dipped below the mountains, but the Christmas lights strung along Main Street cast a cheerful glow across the fresh snow. My business name in professional blue lettering on the glass door gives me a burst of satisfaction that dulls the ache of the earlier call. Inside, I flip through the day's invoices before opening my laptop. The spreadsheet glows with healthy numbers: commercial contracts, residential calls, a growing list of references from satisfied clients. Not bad for a business that just celebrated its second anniversary. I open my banking app and navigate to the recurring transfers. There it is, the payment confirmation for Talia's fall semester. $17,400. Sent directly to the university bursar's office 2 months ago. As always, $17,000. More than half of what I'll make this quarter. Enough to cover the down payment on that warehouse space I've been eyeing to expand the business. But it paid for Talia's education instead. Talia, who apparently doesn't want her boyfriend's parents to know her sister is an electrician. The drive home takes me through neighborhoods gleaming with holiday decorations. Families gathering in warm living rooms, kids home from college for winter break. I wonder if any of them understand how fragile those connections are, how conditional family love can be. My apartment feels especially empty tonight. I drop my keys on the counter and sit on the couch without bothering to turn on the lights. In the glow of the small pre-lit Christmas tree, I open the album Mom made for my 25th birthday. Family photos, each one carefully chosen to show our perfect, educated, upper-middle-class family. My phone buzzes with a text. I expect Mom again, perhaps with details about that rain check lunch that will never happen. Instead, it's Lucas. My cousin has always been the truth teller in the family. "Hey, cuz, Heard about Christmas dinner. You okay? I start to type a casual response, but another message appears before I can finish. Talia told Aunt Barbara she didn't want you there because she didn't want Miles's parents thinking your family is from a working class background. Direct quote. Thought you should know. My fingers go numb. The phone slips from my hand onto the carpet. All this time. All this money. And my sister is ashamed of me. I pick up my laptop, open the university payment portal, and hover my finger over the Remove Payment Method button. What would you do if your family was ashamed of you while secretly benefiting from your success? The numbers glow blue-white from my laptop screen, illuminating my face in the dark apartment. $17,400 to Brookfield University, the 3rd of September. $4,250 for student housing supplement, the 15th of October. $876 for required course materials, the 28th of August. I scroll backward through my bank statements, month after month, year after year. The payments stretch back like breadcrumbs marking a path I've walked blindly. Jesus Christ, I whisper, tapping keys to create a spreadsheet. My fingers, still smelling faintly of copper wire and electrical tape, move rapidly across the keyboard. I track each payment, tuition, housing, books, emergency transfers, when Talia claimed the meal plan didn't cover enough. The total appears at the bottom of my screen. $68,427. 4 years of trade school would have cost me less than what I've paid for 2 years of Talia's education. 2/3 of a down payment on that warehouse space near downtown. A lifetime of Christmas dinners I'm apparently not good enough to attend. My coffee has gone cold, but I drink it anyway, the bitter taste matching my mood. I remember Mom's voice last spring, the practiced sympathy when I mentioned needing a new work truck. But sweetie, you just bought one 3 years ago. Talia needs this money for her education has such potential. Potential. The word Mom never used for me. Another memory surfaces, Dad examining my first business cards, his slight frown. Thompson Electrical. It's just money, Maya. You make plenty with your work. The hesitation before work hung in the air like cigarette smoke, unwanted, clinging, impossible to ignore. The words replay in my head as I click through more statements. April, $2,100 for summer research program fee. June, $3,250 for international study materials. My modest one-bedroom apartment suddenly feels stifling. The pre-lit Christmas tree in the corner, the one I bothered putting up despite spending the holiday alone, casts shadows that crawl up the walls. My phone buzzes with a text from the university portal. Spring tuition due, $17,400. Payment due by the 3rd of January. The familiar prompt glows on my screen, the payment information saved for automatic processing. My finger hovers over the mouse. One click and I'll continue this arrangement, this one-sided contract, where I pay not just with money but with dignity. The truth crystallizes, sharp and clear as ice. They're not just embarrassed by meth, they're using me. I click payment options instead, then payment methods, then remove card. Are you sure you want to remove this payment method? Never been more sure of anything in my life. I click confirm, and a weight lifts from my chest, not completely gone, but lighter. No more, I say to the empty room. 3 hours later, my phone lights up. Talia. Then again, and again. I let it ring. The texts start rolling in. Maya, there's some problem with the tuition payment. It says payment method removed. Call me as soon as possible. This isn't funny. I can't register for classes without this clearing. Call me back right now. I silence the phone and place it face down on the coffee table. For the first time in years, I feel a curious sense of power. The phone rings again an hour later. Lucas. Hey, I answer, suddenly grateful for his voice. Just checking on you. Guessing from the nuclear meltdown happening at Mom and Dad's that you made a decision about the tuition. I removed my payment information from the university portal. A low whistle comes through the speaker. Damn, cousin. About time. That bad, huh? They've been taking advantage of you for years, Maya. You know that, right? Talia stormed out of Christmas dinner after getting some notification on her phone. She's freaking out. Something warm unfurls in my chest, not satisfaction exactly, but the knowledge that I'm not completely alone. Thanks for calling, Lucas. Hey, that's what family is supposed to do. Actually support each other. After we hang up, I open my laptop again. A new email has arrived from Brookfield University. Final notice. Payment required within 48 hours to maintain enrollment status. Below it, 3 voicemails from Talia, each one increasingly frantic. I delete them without listening. The countdown has begun. I walk to the Christmas tree and unplug it. The sudden darkness feels right. Instead of dwelling on the calls and texts that will inevitably continue, I head to my small workshop corner. My hands find a half-finished lamp project I've been meaning to complete. Working with wire and sockets has always centered me. Each connection serves a purpose. Electricity follows rules that don't change based on social status or family expectations. Tomorrow is Christmas Day. I could sit here alone, marinating in resentment, or I could do something different. Mrs. Abernathy, my elderly client from the Highlands neighborhood, mentioned she'd be alone for the holiday. She always brings me coffee when I'm fixing her outdated wiring. Tells me stories about her late husband, who was a carpenter. A person who actually appreciates my skills. I pick up my phone and dial her number. Mrs. Abernathy, it's Maya Thompson. I was wondering if you'd like some company tomorrow. Later, as I slide between cold sheets, a strange peace settles over me. For the first time in years, I've chosen my own worth over their approval. Whatever happens next, I've stopped being an ATM with a pulse. The rest is up to them. The shop door jingles open, bringing in January's bite. Celia balances a stack of mail, her silver-streaked bob swinging as she sets it down. Your mother called. Again. She taps the counter. That's 5 times since 8. I check my watch noon. What'd you tell her? Same as yesterday. Miss Thompson is unavailable. My phone buzzes. Dad. I silence it without answering. The voicemail notification joins 17 others I haven't touched. Alone in my truck during lunch, I finally press play. Maya Elizabeth. Dad's voice carries that stern tone from my teenage years. This isn't how we raised you. Whatever disagreement you're having with your sister, you don't put someone's education at risk. Call us back. I delete it, move to the next. Mom's tearful voice fills the cab. How could you do this to your sister? She's devastated. Miles broke things off, and now the school says she'll lose her spot. All because you. I hit delete. The knot between my shoulder blades tightens as I drive to my afternoon call. Mrs. Abernathy's Victorian sits like a grande dame among newer builds. 83 and just as stubborn as her house, she greets me in a cardigan that's seen better days. Thank God you're here. The lights keep flickering, and I smell something burning. The problem reveals itself in the electrical panel ancient, cloth-wrapped copper wiring deteriorating at the connection points. This is dangerous. I show her where the insulation has worn away. One spark and this woodwork becomes kindling. For the next 2 hours, I lose myself in the work. I trace circuits, replace rotted wiring, install modern safety features. My hands know what to do, giving my mind space to breathe away from family drama. Mrs. Abernathy appears with tea as I secure the last connection. You're a godsend, Maya. She sets the mug on an antique table. My son wanted me to sell this place, said it wasn't safe. Now I can tell him his mother isn't about to burn to death in her sleep. Just doing my job. No, dear. She pats my arm, paper, thin skin cool against mine. What you do matters. Not everyone appreciates skilled hands these days, but some of us still do. The simple validation loosens something in my chest as I drive away. The contrast between her genuine appreciation and my family's dismissal settles like a stone. I deserve better than this. Back at my truck, my phone chimes. Not family Alicia, a college friend who stayed in touch despite our different paths. What's going on with you and Talia? Her social posts make it sound like you murdered her puppy. I open Instagram. Talia's update appears at the top. Some people choose money over family. Disgusting. True colors always show eventually. 300 likes already. Texts flood in from acquaintances. Hey, you okay? Talia's posts seem intense. And, what did you do to your sister? I close the app. The temptation to fire back burns in my throat, but getting dragged into a social media war would only feed the drama Talia craves. The office buzzes with activity when I return. Jimmy, my senior electrician, raises an eyebrow. Your sister called twice. What'd she want? Said it was a family emergency. Celia told her you were meeting with investors about expanding the business. Everyone here has your back, adds Rosa, my newest hire. Your father called too. I told him you were teaching me to wire a three-way switch. She holds up her practice board. Which wasn't a lie. Got it right on the third try. Warmth spreads through my chest, not the burning anger from before, but something steadier. My employees see my value. My clients respect my work. A crash interrupts as the front door flies open. Talia stands in the doorway, makeup streaked down her flushed face, designer coat dusted with snow. You've ruined my life. Her voice pitches high. I'm going to be kicked out of school. The entire office freezes for employees, 2 waiting customers, all staring at my sister's meltdown. I step forward, keeping my voice level. Talia, this isn't the place. When is the place? She stalks toward me. You won't answer my calls or texts. The school wants payment by Friday. Jimmy moves protectively closer. The customers shift uncomfortably. We can talk privately in my office, I say. No. She slams her hand on the counter. You humiliated me publicly. We'll talk about it publicly. A surprising calm settles over me. I didn't ruin your life, Talia. The words come out steady. I just stopped funding it. The silence feels physical. Talia stares, mouth opening and closing without sound, clearly unused to anyone standing firm against her tears. But Miles broke up with me when he found out you were paying. The words burst from her before she can stop them. And there it is, the truth I didn't know I was waiting for. Jimmy clears his throat. Ma'am, she just stopped letting you take advantage of her. Talia whirls on him. This isn't your business. Actually, I say quietly, it is his business. Literally. Thompson Electrical. I straighten my shoulders. And I think you should leave now. You can't just... Celia, please call security. My sister's face crumples. For a second, I see the little girl who used to beg me to fix her toys. Then her eyes harden and she turns, sobbing dramatically as she pushes through the door. The shop remains silent after she leaves. Then Rosa gives a low whistle. Boss, that was. Something. Jimmy nods. Something good. For the first time in weeks, a genuine smile tugs at my lips. I turn back to the scheduling board, writing tomorrow's appointments with steady hands. Let's finish today's paperwork. We've got that commercial job starting tomorrow. As my team returns to work with newfound respect, I feel something shift inside me, like a circuit finally connecting properly after years of faulty wiring. The family drama isn't over, but I'm no longer dreading the next confrontation. I am Maya Thompson, owner of Thompson Electrical, and I'm done letting anyone dim my power. The financial advisor shifts through my statements, her glasses slipping down her nose. The late January sun filters through her downtown office windows, catching dust motes that dance between us. 2 blocks from my shop, in a world that never intersects with my family's, I watch her process what I've just told her. Let me get this straight. She removes her glasses, polishing them with a microfiber cloth. You've been supporting your sister's education for 4 years? Since I opened my business? Her pen taps against the spreadsheet printout. That's a substantial commitment for someone building a company. I nod, studying the numbers that document years of my labor flowing into Talia's future. $68,000. Down payments on dreams I deferred. Vacations never taken. Equipment upgrades postponed. And now you're redirecting these funds to your own retirement? The corners of my mouth lift. Simple words that represent seismic change. Not anymore. She smiles, the first person to truly understand what this means. Let's make your money work for you for a change. 2 hours later, I walk out with a binder containing my financial future. The weight feels right in my hand, solid, tangible, mine. The retirement account paperwork bears my name, funded with the $17,400 that would have paid Talia's spring tuition. My phone buzzes. Mom, the fourth call today. I silence it and head back to work. Maya, please, we need to talk about this. My mother's voice wavers as she stands in my shop's front office, her camel hair coat buttoned wrong in her haste. My father looms behind her, his jaw clenched in that familiar way that used to make me scramble to fix whatever had disappointed him. I glance at the clock. 10 minutes before my next client meeting. This isn't the place, Mom. Where is the place? Dad steps forward. You won't answer our calls. You returned our letters. Talia's losing her spot in the program. Mom's mascara has smudged beneath her right eye. Everything she's worked for. Everything I've paid for, I correct, keeping my voice level. The receptionist pretends not to listen, but I catch her slight nod. We need to discuss this as a family. Dad's tone shifts to the authoritative rumble he used whenever he handed down decisions at our dinner table. My business is not the place for this conversation. I stand, smoothing my Thompson electrical polo. I have clients waiting. Their stunned expressions follow me as I walk past them into the workshop. Jackson's Diner hums with the lunch crowd. 4 of my employees squeeze around a corner booth with me, celebrating Rose's first solo residential job. To the newest full-fledged electrician at Thompson, I raise my water glass, perfectly executed to code. Rosa beams. 23, and already more skilled than half the men who applied for the same apprenticeship. Speaking of execution, Jeff says between bites of his club sandwich, "You handled your parents like a pro yesterday." The table falls quiet. They all know now how I funded Talia's education, how my family kept me away from Christmas dinner. Sorry, Jeff backpedals, not my business. It's okay. Something shifts inside me, the realization that these people see me clearly and value what they see. I'm done being an ATM for people ashamed of how I make my money. Marcus, my senior electrician, nods. About time. The conversation moves on, but something lingers, a new comfort in being known and appreciated for my actual worth. Maya, it's Mom. Please call me back. I put the phone on speaker as I review blueprints for a commercial building renovation. Talia's moving back home. She's lost everything because of you. The old guilt rises, but settles faster than before. Her advisor says she can't reapply until fall semester, and there's no guarantee they'll accept her. She's devastated. I mark a correction on the plans, circling a junction box placement. Can't you help her just this once, for family? My pen hovers over the paper, for family. The same family that couldn't bear to have me at their Christmas table. When the phone rings again 5 minutes later, I answer. Maya, thank God. Did you get my message? Talia needs. Find another ATM. The silence stretches. What? You heard me. I hang up, my hand steady. The warehouse space echoes with potential 2,500 square feet of concrete flooring, high ceilings, roll-up doors. Perfect for expanding Thompson Electrical. The previous tenant's improvements remain, the realtor explains, pointing to the updated electrical panel I've already examined. You just need cosmetic changes. The down payment, $15,000, would have covered most of Talia's spring tuition. Now it buys my future instead. I'll take it. 2 weeks later, I hang the expanded Thompson Electrical sign and interview a pair of apprentices, both women, transitioning from other careers. My retirement account grows with each check that doesn't go to Talia's university. Lucas drops by with takeout to celebrate my expansion. They're falling apart, he reports, leaning against a newly installed workbench. Talia's boyfriend disappeared once he learned she wasn't actually from money. Aunt Deborah keeps making excuses to her garden club about why Talia's suddenly home. Not my problem. No, he studies me. You look good, Maya. Better. The next evening, I stand before 30 high school students at a trade school career day. My calloused hands gesturing as I explain how electrical work combines physical skill with problem solving. You don't need a 4-year degree to build something meaningful, I tell a girl in the front row who reminds me of myself at 16. Sometimes the most valuable connections aren't on circuit boards at all. Her eyes light up with possibility, the same electricity I finally allowed to power my own life. The Christmas card arrives exactly 1 year after the exclusion, my mother's familiar handwriting looping across the envelope. Inside, tucked behind a glossy photo of my parents and Talia in matching sweaters, sits a check for $500. A small gift, reads the note. We miss you. I place it on my kitchen counter beside 3 voicemails from Mom, each more carefully scripted than the last. It's not the same without you, she'd said in the most recent one. The calculated warmth in her voice couldn't mask the rehearsed quality of her words. The phone rings again. Uncle Steve, this time one of the neutral parties dispatched to soften me up. Maya, honey, it's been a year. Don't you think it's time to be the bigger person? I run my thumb across the edge of the check, feeling the slight ridge of the signature. I appreciate your concern, Uncle Steve. Your sister's really changed, you know. She talks about how much she's learned. On cue, my phone buzzes with a text from Talia. I've learned my lesson. Can we please talk? 3 old friends from high school have already called this week. Family is everything, said one. You'll regret holding grudges, warned another. The coordinated pressure campaign builds with each passing day. The coffee shop sits halfway between my apartment and my parents' house in neutral territory. I arrive 15 minutes early, claiming a corner table with clear sightlines to the door. When they enter, I see it immediately. The rehearsed approach. Dad leads, Mom slightly behind with a practiced, worried expression. Talia bringing up the rear with perfect humility painted across her face. Maya. Mom breathes my name like a prayer of thanksgiving. You look wonderful. I don't rise for hugs. Thanks for meeting me. They settle into their chairs with the careful movements of people who've discussed every aspect of this encounter in advance. Dad orders for everyone other controlled tactic while Mom touches my hand tentatively. We've missed you terribly, she says. The holidays weren't the same. Talia keeps her eyes downcast. I want to apologize for everything. Her voice carries the perfect tremor of sincerity. I was selfish and ungrateful. Dad nods approvingly. We all made mistakes. The important thing is moving forward as a family. I let the silence stretch until the barista delivers our drinks. Then I reach down and place a manila folder on the table. What's this? Mom asks, her smile faltering. Evidence. I open it to reveal neatly arranged payment receipts, bank statements, and printed text messages spanning 5 years. $68,000 in tuition payments. 17 texts where Talia asks for money. 6 conversations where you suggested I should help out with her education. I flip to the next page. And these are the messages where Talia told friends her parents were funding her education. The color drains from Talia's face. Dad reaches for the folder, but I slide it out of reach. I didn't come to argue or accuse, I say, my voice level. My hands, which have installed complex electrical systems in 50-foot ceilings, don't tremble. I came to establish terms. Terms? Dad's authoritative tone wavers. You need to understand that my work has value. My life has value. The words emerge without heat, shaped by a year of careful consideration. I won't fund anyone who's ashamed to acknowledge me. Talia's carefully crafted composure crumbles. That's not fair. What's not fair, I cut in, is taking $17,000 from someone while telling people they're beneath you. Mom jumps in, her voice rising. We never asked you to pay for everything. That was your choice. You're right. I nod, surprising her. It was my choice. Just like it's my choice now to establish boundaries. Dad tries to reclaim his authority. Now listen, Maya, there's no need for. This isn't negotiable. I pull out the Christmas check, tear it neatly in half, and place the pieces on the table. I don't want your money. I want your respect. The torn check transforms their expressions. Mom's lips part in shock. Dad's jaw tightens. Talia stares at the ripped paper as though it's a physical wound. I'm open to building a new relationship. I continue. gathering the folder and sliding it back into my bag, but not continuing the old one. "So that's it," Talia whispers. "You're cutting us off completely?" These are my terms. I level my gaze at each of them in turn. 1. No more lies about who I am or what I do. 2. No more financial expectations. 3. My achievements deserve the same respect you give Talia's. Mom's carefully controlled facade breaks. For the first time in years, I glimpse something genuine in her eyes: fear, confusion, and perhaps a flicker of respect. "My worth isn't measured by what I can give you," I add, standing up. "If you want me in your lives, it will be as the electrician I am, not the banker you wanted." Dad stares at the torn check, the familiar family power dynamic shattered on a laminate coffee shop table. "The choice is yours." I button my coat with steady hands. "Merry Christmas." Outside, snow has begun to fall, covering the parking lot in a clean white blanket. I breathe deeply, tasting freedom in the crisp December air. The weight I've carried for years slides from my shoulders like meltwater. The new Thompson electrical sign gleams in the December sunshine. 3 vans, not just my old reliable one, line the building, each emblazoned with our logo. My logo. Inside, the workshop hums with activity. Jesse, my newest apprentice, stands at the workbench measuring conduit while Mark reviews a blueprint with Danny. 5 employees now. 2 of them women breaking into the trade just like I did. The shop smells of coffee and copper, of honest work and earned respect. "Morning, boss," Jessie calls, pushing her safety glasses up. "The Riverside contract wants us to bid on phase 2. I nod, satisfaction warming my chest. "Send them our availability. We're booked through February, but we can start March 1st. Tonight's Christmas gathering fills my new home with laughter. The craftsman with good bones and better wiring picked for me, not to impress anyone else. My tree sparkles with simple white lights, no color-coordinated ornaments like Mom's perfect display." Lucas raises his glass toward my electrical certification framed on the wall. "To doing what you love." My friends clink glasses. None of them ask what I can do for them. None of them hide me away when important people visit. Here, I'm enough calloused hands and all. Later, Lucas helps clear dessert plates. "Saw Talia yesterday, at the mall." My grip tightens on a fork. "And?" "She's working at Nordstrom, selling shoes." He pauses. "Mom and Dad's retirement took a hit, and without your contributions, they're feeling it. Talia moved back home." "Not my problem," I say, but the words lack the edge they carried months ago. "They're learning," Lucas says quietly. "Talia cried when a customer treated her like she was invisible, said it made her think of you." That night, after everyone leaves, my phone chimes with a text. From Mom: "We're having Christmas dinner next Saturday at 5. We'd be honored if you could join us. No pressure." I stare at those words: honored, not expected. No pressure, not you should. For the first time, the choice is truly mine. Not an obligation, not a transaction. 3 days later, I sign the paperwork for the Thompson Electrical Scholarship, fund $5,000 annually for women entering the trade. The attorney smiles as she hands me the completed forms. "You're making quite an impact," she says. "One of your apprentices mentioned you took her on after her father said electrical work wasn't for women." I think of Talia's struggle now. Facing what I've known for years, the world doesn't care about your pedigree, only what you contribute. My standing firm has sent ripples beyond our family dinner table. Saturday evening, I park in my parents' driveway. Christmas lights outline the windows, the same as always, yet they look different now, less like a showcase, more like simple celebration. A framed photograph sits on the passenger seat, me with my team in front of the shop. Not an apology. A statement. At the front door, I hesitate, catching my reflection in the glass, shoulders back, chin high. The woman who once silently funded her sister's degree while accepting scraps of approval has vanished. In her place stands someone who knows her worth isn't measured by family approval. I take a deep breath and ring the bell. Dad opens the door, surprise flickering across his face. "Maya, you came." Mom hurries forward, taking my coat without the usual critique of my practical clothes. Her eyes hold uncertainty, maybe even regret. In the dining room, Talia sits quietly. Her nails are short now, unpolished. Working hands. Her designer clothes replaced by something simpler. That scholarship program of yours, she says, voice soft. The local paper did an article. Not jealousy in her tone. Something new. Respect. I'm applying to technical college, she adds, meeting my eyes directly. Business administration. More practical than theoretical economics. Mom squeezes my hand as I take my seat. We've missed you. I lift my glass, meeting each pair of eyes around the table. To new beginnings, I say, based on truth. Dad nods. A simple acknowledgement worth more than empty praise. What does family really mean? Those bound by blood, or those who value your worth? I chose to give a second chance from a position of strength. Looking around this table, I wonder would you have done the same?